And we should be live on LinkedIn and across the Leading Man. Welcome, guys. Those of you guys that are watching live, please let us know that you're watching live with a quick hashtag live. Anyone that's watching this later in the day, please, again, just drop a hashtag replay so know that you've given us a little bit of love. I'm joined today by none other than Mr. Dave Burton. Dave's been a client of mine, very good client of mine. In fact, got some awesome results and has kindly agreed to just come on and talk about some of the challenges that he was facing before he started looking at his performance more holistically and some of the results that he's got on the program. So without further ado, Dave, welcome. Thanks for jumping on, man.
Howdy, and glad to be here. And I want to thank you, at the start of this thing, just for your help in getting me transformed. Probably the best way to lead this off is my wife has told me, you have resculpted yourself. That's freaking awesome to hear.
That's the best seal of approval, right? That's what you want is when the wife sort of seals off on the deal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess to start with, if you cast your mind back before we even started working together, right? And we were coming off the back of the pandemic. A lot of people had been struggling to move because of being so desk and home focused, struggling emotionally as well. For you, if you cast your mind back, what were some of the issues that you were experiencing, and what would you say the main struggle was for you?
Well, let me start just a little bit before the pandemic, if that's okay. So prior to the pandemic, I was working for this company and I had a gym that was really, really close. So I was working out at the gym and I was doing a good job with that. Then we all got sent home. At that point, I did not have any facilities. I didn't have any of the discipline of going in with working with other people and the coaches. And that's kind of like an important setting for the value that I'm getting out of this and how I ended up where I was. So I had this work ethic. I wanted to work, but I wasn't working. So I coasted. And for the longest time on that coast, I didn't show any negative results, right? I built up. But then I got really comfortable. And I started, eating a little bit more than I should have, drinking a little bit more, not getting drunk, but just not watching my intake. And I wasn't doing any exercise whatsoever. My body shape changed and it really started to weigh really hard on me. I mean, I'd walk by the mirror, I'd see myself in the mirror in the morning, and it's like, that's not me. I mean, it was really large amount of cognitive dissonance on that. It was you see the image in the mirror, you know it's you, and you realize that's not me. That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. And it just kind of spiraled on itself. And I knew I needed to do something about it. I tried various different things. Nothing was working for me because coming into this, it was the all or nothing. I've got to own this. I got to do it all, and I can't do anything. I'd go hard for a week, and I can't do that, and it just falls, and it just got really nasty.
What was the problem with that all or nothing mindset? If you
can't sustain it.
It's the sustainability, right?
Right. It's sustainability. If I try to go all in, it's like, yes, I know what I can do. I know what I was doing before, but it's not a sustainable way of working. Life intrudes. I've got things to do. And as soon as you miss a day, you feel guilty. It's like, okay, I can't do this. Okay, I haven't done this. All right, maybe I'm not going to do this anymore. And then just go. So anyway, there was no good part about that. I'm not particularly proud of that aspect. I had my friends and we kind of did our stuff, but as far as the way I was feeling internally about myself and about my capabilities, it was not me. It was not who I am, who I envision myself to be. And that plays hard with the mind.
And if you, again, so we started working together maybe sort of 4 months ago, before you actually got myself involved, or before you even got a coach, any sort of coach involved, what sort of reservations did you have? What was sort of telling you, I'm not sure if this is the right option, maybe I can do it by myself? What was going through your mind?
Well, I've never done it before, right? So, and it's a virtual coach. And I've gotten a lot of questions about that. So I tell people I'm working with a coach, and it's like, what, you got a trainer come by your house? No, I don't. And that's the value that I see. But that was the scary part, right? I spent a bit of coin to do this on a virtual coaching where somebody's not coming to my house, they're not looking at me daily to see what's going on. How is this going to play out? How's this going to work? I didn't know, but I was also really unhappy with myself. I knew that whatever I was trying wasn't working. I needed to do something positive for myself. So I believe very much in the value of coaching. Um, and this is a message that I bring my team. So I reached out to you and we initiated the program.
And what a sort of journey it's been, right? If we look at some of the accomplishments that you've had on the program, 15 pounds lighter, right? We talk about this lifelong fitness mindset. You know, you're 60 now, right? And actually want to be able to, and like in ridiculous shape for a 60-year-old, right? We might sort of look at some pictures a bit, but like in crazy shape for a 60-year-old, but wanted to continue that until you're 80, right?
Yep.
You talk about just actually that bleeding out into other areas of your life and starting to be more happy. Like, what stands out to you as the biggest takeaway or the biggest, I guess, the thing that you're most proud about on the program?
Well, there's many things that I'm actually proud about on the program. Number one, I've been able to transform myself. But the second part, and this is probably the largest takeaway from the program, and you've talked about this, it's moving from motivation to inspiration, where motivation is externally driven, what my wife thinks about me or anything else. But I live in my head. It's the inspiration. It's what motivates me inside to do this. And what is going to keep it? And here's the number one thing that made me choose your program is your promise. Your promise was in 12 weeks, I will teach you 12 years of habit to sustain this thing. That's what I needed. I know I needed that. I knew it at the time and I know it now. And that's the value that I've gotten from it. So, I mean, that's maybe the biggest transformation is understanding that mindset. The other part of this is, we talked about the all or nothing before. You're teaching the Kaizen, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, but make the small changes, and it's okay to fall down. Don't give up in working through that. So, I mean, I've had some challenges through the program. I got COVID in January. Didn't see that one coming. I'm fully vaccinated, and I still got it, and it just knocked me out for a bit. You've kept me honest through the whole thing, never berated me, but challenged me all the time on this. The other transformations that I've seen, it's bled over into I'm more there because I'm feeling better and more whole about myself. I believe I am a better husband. I believe I am a better manager at work. I believe I'm a better father to my son because I'm no longer facing that internal disagreement with self about who I am and what I'm capable of doing. As well, I've been able to be motivational in some ways because people have seen me on my journey. They've seen the transformation that I've made, and they ask me about that. And it's self-challenging. I have to push myself. You provide accountability. I have to do the work. And if I fall down on that, I mean, it's all on me. It's not on you.
And if we, you touch on a couple of interesting points there, right? If we take motivation to inspiration, right, moving from a state of needing that external source to being inspired to take action yourself, like how did that happen for you? Like what actually shifted so that you felt inspired? Like was it quite a gradual process? Was it like sudden? Like what did you actually do?
No, it was really gradual. It was more of self-revelation, I would say, as I started doing the program, it's like when is inspiration going to occur? When is this magically going to flip a switch? And I can't tell you when that happened because it's a gradual mindset change that happened over the course of the program. And I think it was more along the realization about who am I doing this for, right? motivation, the external motivation, am I doing this so that my friends will say, yeah, you're looking good? Am I doing this because my coach said, yeah, you're looking good? Am I doing this because my wife says, yeah, you're looking good? That's motivation, right? Trying to get that external confirmation. I came to the realization, I'm doing this for me. I mean, it's nice to have that external thing, but ultimately I realized I'm working for me, and that's all that I'm working for. It's nice that I got these other things to share with other people, but ultimately this is for myself. That's the inspiration part. That's the part that it's it's internal motivation for myself to continue on doing this. And I did not know how to do this prior to this program. I tried multiple times and I failed every time. Now I believe firmly I'm on the path to success. I believe that I can continue to do this thing, mostly because I no longer believe in the all or nothing mindset. I mean, that's massive. That's massive.
I love that, dude. I love that. And I think that's what we talk about on the program. And I know most coaches would reel it the idea of like clients moving on and becoming self accountable, but that's what we want. Right? You go and work with a coach, you go and work with a professional to learn a skill set or a system. You outsource that to them for a period of time, and then you want to be able to continue down the path yourself. And it sounds like that's where you're getting to, or got to, even, right? And
Yep.
like,
Time will tell.
exactly. We're going to check in. We're going to make sure, right? You also touched on the Kaizen approach. Like, I want to get your thoughts on that as a system. Like, just for anyone watching, what is it and how does it work as opposed to things that you've either tried in the past or that other people might have tried?
It's the value of change. And it's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you try to take on and do too much, you try to do everything all at one time, you're going to be overloaded and you're going to fail. I know I failed multiple times on this. If you're trying to make a change, a lasting change, don't change everything all right now. It's a very heavy lift. Make a small change. Change this little thing now. Change this little thing. Change this little thing. The changes stack up and they accumulate. That approach, that's different from the all or nothing. The all or nothing in everything I tried before. I got to start working out. I got to do it consistently. I got to do it every day. If I fall, then everything crumbles around that. And there's a whole guilt feeling that I would have when I was doing it before. I messed up. I didn't do this. I should have done this. I'm a bad person. There's no part of that that is healthy, right? It's the healthy part comes from, yeah, I made this change. I'm making these little changes over time, and they do stack up. They absolutely do stack up over time. You can see the transformation. Please don't show the before photo. I'm very embarrassed about that. That's not me. I mean, it's me, but it's not me.
Should we just see your now photo? Because I think a
I
60-year-old.
mean, if you wanted to show the before photo, sure, embarrass me. I mean, it's okay. I mean, because it's the measure is in the difference, and it gives people, nobody else knows necessarily what I've gone through on the journey. They don't know where I started off at, and I'm ashamed of this. I'll tell you straight out, I am ashamed of this photo. I didn't like it when I took it. I didn't like it when I posted it. I don't like it when I see it now because it's not me.
Well, let's have a look at these two versions, right? Because I think they're chalk and cheese. We'll get that up. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. I wish nobody else could see it.
So like, talk us through like these two versions. Like you mentioned, when you on the guy on the left, when you walk past a mirror, you would see someone and you'd be like, "That isn't me." Like
No,
what? Who were you seeing?
I somebody else, somebody that's just kind of given up and is not trying. And it. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's me, but it's nothing I was happy about, nothing I was proud of internally, nothing that was self motivating. Yeah, there's just yeah, like I said, I'm embarrassed of that. I let myself become that, and there was no point in it, but I didn't know how to do what you see on the right.
And this guy on the right, 16 weeks later, um, just a completely different version of yourself. Like physically, you look different, right? Much more defined chest, much more defined shoulders, arms pop in, the tummy's gone, right? A very, very different person physically. But talk us through, like, outside of just the physical aspect, how is this man different?
Oh, mentally, I mean, number one, when you're so the image on the left is cognitive dissonance, right? I look at that picture and I realize that's not me. That's not who I am. It's what I'm representing myself, but that causes the mental challenges. If I look at myself on the right, yeah, I'm actually pretty proud of that, and I'm working it, and I'm still working it to get better and stronger. But that's a little bit more in line with what I view myself as. By doing that, I've got a success metric right here. I've actually, as my wife has said, I've re-sculpted myself. And it really has. It's a good way of phrasing that. But that does wonders for your mental well-being. I'm more confident in who I am and what I can do. Um, and I've got a success metric to show behind that. For some personal reasons that I won't share on this, I've used this example to provide inspiration for my son and a couple of my friends that are going through similar things, that are wondering how you're doing this. There's no part of this that has been easy, mind you. It's I've had to put forth a lot of effort, and I've had to talk to myself to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing when it hurts, when I don't feel like I'm doing the right thing, but I know who I'm doing it for. I know why I'm doing it, and I know what it's going to net me in 20 years. And that's been a very valuable source of, well, not only inspiration for self, but I can use that. It's an inspiring story to tell others, and it shows as a leader that I'm doing what I asking my team to do. Right, push yourself when it's hard. This is not easy.
And it's, 60, you'd be forgiven for a lot of guys that I know that have reached that sort of age. You'd be almost forgiven for wanting to take a step back, right? Just coast a little bit, maybe let yourself go. And I knew from when we first talked, it's like that wasn't you, that wasn't the athlete mindset,
No.
that wasn't the identity that you had. But now it's like you seem to have got to this place where energy levels have increased, and you can do more, right? You can actually, productivity wise, exercise at work, spending time with your wife, you can actually do more. Like, what
Yeah.
what have you done with that additional energy, and how does that feel?
Um, well, I mean, it's easier to get up in the morning to get the stuff done, to go out. I mean, without oversharing, a little bit more affectionate. Just it feels good in that way. Um, but I mean, the whole energy thing, being out, just doing yard work, um, going out and being social with friends. It's a lot easier for me to get out. Knowing that I'm no longer this thing, this blob that existed before. I'm still the same person, right? That didn't really change. And let's be clear, at 60, it's much more difficult for me to work out than it was when I was 40. Um, stuff happens, but I don't have to give up, and I don't have to accept status quo. That's the bigger thing, and that's me. I don't like staying, uh, keeping the status quo. That's what I preach to my team. So here I am living what I'm preaching, and the value of that cannot be overstated.
And what other areas of your life have changed as a result? So you're living what you're preaching, and actually the status quo is like it's balanced now. What other areas of your life have benefited, like, as a result of that?
Well, relationships are stronger and easier to deal with, just because of there's a self confidence that comes from actually having done this, and self confidence drives a whole lot of stuff. Um, Showing up and being able to be a better partner, to be a better father, because I've got these stories to tell now. I understand kind of where I am. I think it helps with my team in leading the team. I think I am far more energetic and far more confident in what I'm doing when I'm leading my team, which translates in. I'm getting good feedback on that from my team, which is always nice. So I mean, it's the better way to answer this is changing who I am as a person, who I view myself as a person, and the impact of that is basically in everything that I do, and everybody that I meet.
Awesome.
So
Dude, I'm so happy, right, just to hear your like the benefits that you've taken from the program already. And we talk about the next 12 years. I really hope that these systems and structures that you've got in place mentally, physically, emotionally are there to serve you. I guess if you were, we've got to wrap up in a minute because I know you've got another meeting to jump to, right?
yeah.
I guess if we kind of reflect on thinking to where you were 16 weeks ago, right? Or where someone might be where they're not happy personally or professionally. It could be reflected in they just feel overweight, lack of confidence. Could just be that their physical, their emotional, their mental health is not where they want it to be. What, having gone through the program, what specific advice would you give people that might be in that position?
Take a chance, push yourself. Um, for me, I preach the value of coaching to my team. I very much value that. A coach, professional athletes get coaches. Why? Because you can always get better. But the drive needs to come from within you. You did not provide me the drive to change myself. You kept me accountable for that. You gave me the methods and the approaches on how to do that. So if you're looking at this and you see the picture on the left and you're not happy with yourself, I would challenge you to get a coach, start working on yourself. Don't do the all or nothing thing. I have not found any value in that. Work with a coach who will work with you where you are, find out what your self goals are, and to push you and to challenge you, keep you accounted on that. And then yourself, own it, work it, because that's where the inspiration is going to come from. That's going to carry you, because I believe in within me that this is going to continue on, and I'm going to be 80 years old and one of those guys that people look at and can't believe he's 80. So
Hugely powerful, and I mean, I wouldn't get behind many statements. That is one that I would get behind, and I think at 80, I could imagine you doing a skydive, Dave, especially now.
sure, yeah, I'd do it. I'd jump out of a plane again. Wife doesn't want to.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on and sharing your experience, your thoughts with everyone watching. Guys that have watched live, have you found some benefit from here and taken some examples from Dave's story? Anyone that's watching on replay, please just do drop a hashtag replay so we know who's watched this and who's found it beneficial. And please watch out for the next in the series. We'll be back live in a couple of weeks. Until then, stay safe and speak to you all soon.
All right. Thanks, Alex.